All right. So how's everybody doing today? Um, and let's make sure. I think. Well, who is here? And this is well. Most of y'all haven't met Tanya. So we have Marcus Godwin. Marcus. Uh, hold on.
Maurice, that's me.
I'm sorry, Maurice. All right. All right, Maurice, go ahead and introduce yourself real quick. And I'm going to introduce you to Tanya Watkins and the rest of the group, and we'll pick it up from there.
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm Maurice Godwin. I'm located in Las Vegas, Nevada. I recently formed a nonprofit and got it 501(c)(3) approved. The nonprofit's called Minority Business Network. We will rebrand as Bet on Black LV or Bet on Black Las Vegas. And basically, our mission is to promote and assist entrepreneurs and small business owners here in the Las Vegas or Southern Nevada area to um, gain more business, gain more traction, help them promote their business to the community, and also offer a environment where they can communicate and network with each other, and also offer mentorships to young and budding entrepreneurs down the line. So I'm looking for ways to get funding for my nonprofit and to help us get more exposure and to grow. So thank you.
All right, that's good. Wonderful, wonderful. And how did you connect with us?
I actually was on a Zoom call with Kenneth Smith a while back, and he introduced you to us or introduced us to you. And from
Mm,
there, I started researching on your Facebook and your platforms and your YouTube and decided to hop on board.
all right, all right. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Um, I'll introduce Tanya just a little bit. She came to me. I think we connected. It's been almost 2 years now. I don't know. Yeah, you can tell the story and also introduce what you do.
Hey everyone, my name is Tanya Watkins and I am in Chicago, Illinois. I met Coach Hackett about 2 years ago through the Free Hive through Derek Harper when he started his free classes. And so I took Coach's free class in the Free Hive, started implementing some of the things that he taught us for free. And then I decided like that's what I needed to do to get my non for profit. I had been working my non for profit while we care unofficially before I met Coach Hackett. I was just doing the work and using the name, but I hadn't gotten all of my paperwork in line like I needed to. So I joined his class. I was actually in his first class that he ever taught doing this, and he did an amazing job. He has a lot of knowledge. Um, Something that still sticks with me that Coach talked about is do it scared, because I was scared to do a lot of things, and then I finally had my first Christmas in July event this past July, and Coach actually surprised me by showing up. And one of the best compliments I got from Coach is, I thought you did this before. And I was like, no, this was my very first major event. While We Care is a non for profit in Chicago, Illinois, where we help the homeless and we also help teen moms that are in different group homes find housing, find stability, entrepreneurial classes. And we also help a group home of battered women, and we give them the items that they need. And we do things like purses with the purpose, where we send them on, they get job interviews, and we kind of want to make sure that they're prepared and looking to par and helping them.
All right. So I'm okay. I think one of our other folks are here. Who is that just joined? Man, these lights are something. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get into what we're going to talk about today. Tanya is going to pick up where I leave off. She's going to talk about free stuff, free giveaways, specifically the Walmart grant, and how to activate community partnerships so you can get stuff that you don't have to pay for. And these are grants that you don't have to write. It's not like the traditional grant where you have to write and answer a whole bunch of questions. Tanya's going to talk to you about how she applied the information that we gave and just made it work for her community. But before we go into that, want to make sure that you all are aware, whatever bank grants you have, whatever banks are in your area, the bank grants are available right now. They're closing really soon, though. They're closing in October. So if you have not already identified your events for next year, go ahead and decide on what type of event you want to do. You can start getting sponsorships. To have a description of your program, you got to break it down really, really short. You need to have the description of your program in the first paragraph, and then some of your statement of need, like some of the data that explains why this issue is important and how bad the situation is, and then your solution. So within the first two, it might be 2.5 paragraphs, but definitely no more than 3 paragraphs. You want to make sure that you have hit these 3 things: a description of your program, the statement of need that describes the problem, and then what your solution is. All right, Belinda Johnson, you had a question? We can't hear you. Go ahead.
Good. Hey, great evening. Great afternoon, rather. I wanted to ask if what you're talking about, the bank, is it for nonprofit or for profit?
Bank grants are for nonprofits. Okay. Banks can give money to for-profits through their sponsorship dollars, but we work with what they are required to do, and they're required to give money back to the community. So if you have a for-profit entity and you go to them for sponsorship, they might want to, but they don't want to go through the red tape. It might be good to partner with a nonprofit that will be the fiscal agent or fiscal sponsor for you. So the bank writes the check to the nonprofit, then the nonprofit gives the money to the for-profit.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right. And again, this strategy is all built on relationship. So you would contact the person at the bank. Normally it's the manager. And if you're wondering who, then you just go to that bank's website by typing in the name of the bank and the word grants. It'll pull up a website, and then on that website there'll be some email. That email is monitored by a person, even if it doesn't have a person's name. That email is monitored by a person, and then you reach out to them. All right. And you want to go ahead and get in good with them now, because this funding cycle is ending in October, but their next one is going to open in February. And if you're already on their list, if you already have connection with them, then you'll be on their mind. You'll be ahead of the curve, ahead of the game. There was an organization, matter of fact, Truist Bank. They gave me $50,000. Before that, 25,000. Before that, 15,000. And they've become a longstanding partner with our organization. Well, we wrote to them, and we were not funded. And then when I saw one of the people in person, she said, "Oh, that's you? We didn't know who that was. If we had known it was you, the outcome would have been different." You get what I'm saying? So you're going to have to develop relationship with these people, and it's going to help you a long way. All right. Now, Maurice, for your program, it sounds very similar to the program I started called Black Wall Street. It is a Black business incubator. It's designed to start, grow, and expand Black businesses. And so we help people get their business started. We help people grow their business, and we help them expand. So the grant funds that we have gotten allow us to pay for incorporation fees and QuickBooks, accounting software. Recently, the grants cover us teaching entrepreneurship in schools, designing industry-specific cohorts, et cetera. And so when you think about what you are doing to help businesses, you want to look at it like you are solving a whole community problem by helping more Black businesses get started and become stronger. And the money that you need for that includes salary, it includes supplies, it includes a computer, the cell phones, any type of events, meetups, mixers, networking events, anytime that you have an understanding of a certain piece of legislation and you want to break it down so the Black business owner understand how it's going to impact them, themselves as Black businesses, or get certified with MWBE or MBE status or HUD status, that's considered technical assistance. So there are a lot of funding opportunities for you, but it's going to be incumbent upon you to describe it in a way that it can be funded. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. What other questions do you all have for me before we go into sponsorships and community partnerships?
Hey, Dr. Hackett, it's Belinda. On our last call, you had us to fill out the application for the grant NAACP. So I did that. So what's the process? Just waiting, and do we check on the application? And I also filled out a couple. You said just keep going. I filled out. I just need to know the process. I'm just right now once I submit it. Is that correct?
Yes. Once you submit it, it's kind of like a watched pot never boils.
Okay.
Just make sure you gave them a good email and go on to the next one. I apply for so many grants that sometimes I forget. Oftentimes I forget.
Okay.
And you may want to have a grants calendar just so that you can keep up with your deadlines.
Okay.
And that can be as fancy as an Excel spreadsheet, or it can be as simple as a piece of notebook paper. But you want to apply for as many as possible. All right. Okay. When you're applying for for-profit grants, you have to know that they are competitive, and sometimes they're only giving 1 or 2 nationwide. However, when you create your nonprofit that partners with your for-profit, those odds are a whole lot different. It's a whole lot less competitive.
Okay.
Less competitive. And there are organizations that are required to give money to nonprofits. And so that's why I recommend to everybody to have a nonprofit that partners with your for-profit, so that the outreach things that you do, the information things that you do, the things that you would do with your expertise, if you were to do healthy food or healthy living for people in low-income neighborhoods or people that do not have health insurance, then that nonprofit could receive grant funds that would pay your fee and could buy food and pay for exercise classes, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
Coach Hatchett, I have a question. This is Karen Howard. Okay, so I sent a message, and I think you answered part of it for me just now. But when I started my daughter's business, because she was in high school, then she went to college, and that's when we really initiated. And I put it in my name. So I wanted to know, like, transferring it over to her, because having a nonprofit and being like 51% of her business, would that hurt the business, or will it like send red flags if I leave it like it is, or should I change it over?
No. And just to make sure I understand, You created a for-profit company in your daughter's name. Am I correct?
Correct. No. It's
Do
in
you
my name, but it's for her business. Okay.
in your name and she operates it, or you did it
Yes,
for her?
she
Okay.
operates.
Do you have a separate entity that is a nonprofit agency?
Yes.
And these have two separate EINs.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If they have two separate EINs, then they are as different as two children. One mama, two babies.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And they are not at all connected. I mean, they are not at all mixed up in the eyes of the government.
Okay. Great. Okay. That answers a whole lot.
If and when those two things begin to work together, then you want to have some type of MOU, which means memorandum of understanding, or you have an operating agreement, which just describes any type of financial relationship that those two things have. For example, if the nonprofit is going to purchase curriculum and it purchases it from your for-profit, well, that could be considered a conflict of interest if you don't disclose. So you just have to document. We are purchasing, the nonprofit is purchasing these books from the for-profit at a discount.
Okay.
And you sign in, even if you're an officer in both of them. You just do not want to hide anything.
Okay. Thank you.
Good question. All right. Any other questions before we go into community giveaways? All right. So one of the benefits that you have as a nonprofit agency, and when I teach grants, people, I don't mean any harm, but the average person is lazy. You get what I'm saying? And they just want to know they just want to hear what they want to hear. All right. So in the world of grants, there are multiple grant strategies. Now, I've been writing grants for 22 years. All right. So I really am an excellent writer. I've been doing it so long. In the beginning, I was horrible at it, and then I got good. Eventually, you get better at writing. But while I was writing grants, I realized and stumbled across the fact that there was money that you can get without having to write a whole paper, without having to write and answer a whole bunch of questions. There was money that you could get for free, items that you could get for free, and you could really, really make a big impact. And really, like, when people see you as a hero of your community, you shouldn't have to do it out of your own pocket, because there are lots of companies that have bigger pockets than you. And so I began to not only to do it for myself, but I started to explain it to other people. And just to like show the power of this, just yesterday, my Black Business Incubator, Black Wall Street, we're doing a historical artistic installation. The neighborhood that we're in, it was gentrified. They raised the taxes. All the Black people were moved out. Now it's a beautiful neighborhood, and it so happens that it's too expensive for local Black people to be there. Y'all can't hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. So all the Black people are out of it. All the Black businesses are gone. All the Black owned houses are gone. And now it's a whole bunch of white owned businesses, white houses, white people's houses, etc. It's too expensive. This is gentrification at its finest. They changed the name from South Side, and now they call it the River Arts District. And what we did, we connected with some of the local elders in the community that had pictures and title deeds from when the Urban Renewal Project wiped out all the Black homes. And we're having them turned into a big old wall. Well, we thought to have it turned into a big old wallpaper and wrap the building in it. But then we connected with FedEx, and they said we can do aluminum sheets and bolt them to the wall, and it will be oversized and have a big, beautiful Black frame over it, and have it backlit up. I mean, it's going to be amazing. So we decided to invite them out. So they came, they laid out the everything for us, and they're from FedEx. And then they told us, they called us back and said, we have community funds and we just need a paragraph or two about your organization, and you'll either get $25,000, $15,000, or $10,000. We didn't have to fill out no grant application. All we had to do was be a good community partner. All right. And there are people out there that have budgets. There are companies that have budgets that are interested and willing right now to give to you. When I taught this strategy, Tanya decided to pick it up and run with it. And so today, I'm going to turn it over to her. Mark, I'd like for you to make her host, co-host. Tanya, you'll continue, and you can tell them your whole experiences, you know, the nuts and bolts, the good and the bad. All right.
Absolutely, Coach. So I did take that strategy of starting off small. Small is better than nothing at all in my book. And I started applying for all the Walmart grants in my area. So one thing you want to make sure is that you are signed up with cyber grants, which is where Walmart goes through to approve those grants in their community. Another thing is you all want to make sure that your website is up, running, and active. What I mean by active, let's say you still haven't done any type of events, is your non-for-profit is brand new, is fresh. Put on there your information that you had, that Coach have you go over, which is your statement of needs, what your goals are for the non-for-profit to succeed, and put that information on your website. Put your board members on your website, even if it's just a picture of you all having dinner together. Make sure that you have that information on your website, as long as a small bio, like their name, and if they're in the community that you're serving. Make sure your board is diverse. Being, maybe LGBTQ, Black, white, Hispanic, Indian. Make sure that you all have a diverse board as well. I know some of you all are new, so you are the board technically. But even if it's just your initial board is not going to be the actual board that continues to run the programs. I will let you know that now. My initial board was just me, my mom, my ex.
Miss Tanya, you're frozen. We can't hear you.
Okay, I think there's a bit of technical uh, difficulties, so let me just check in with Miss Tanya, okay?
I'm sorry, you guys. I don't know what happened. Can you all hear me?
Yes, welcome back.
Okay. So where did I leave off at? Oh, so I kept on getting denied for the grants. And then finally one day I received a call from one of the Walmarts, and the pharmacy. So one thing I didn't know is that the pharmacy is different from the general store. So the pharmacy has money, the store in general has grant money as well. And the pharmacist, he told me, like, I got this extra money. I looked at your website. I see what you're doing. And we want to award you the grant. And that was my first Walmart grant, I want to say, after applying for at least 20 grants. So don't stop. Don't get discouraged. Don't give up. So I went up there. They wanted to present the Walmart check, take pictures, and of course, do everything of that nature. And we did. And when I got ready to, because I was using most of those funds for the homeless shelter, the women's shelter, and the teen parenting group. So when I got ready to go give those items out, I did contact the pharmacy manager to see if his techs, those that work in the pharmacy department, want to go out with us, because they did say, hey, when you're going to do these things, we would like to be involved. I'm not sure how many people here live in Chicago, but they end up closing down a lot of Walmarts here in the city of Chicago. They're still on the outskirts, but in the city of Chicago. And that was one of them that was closed down when I got ready to reach back out to see if they wanted to go. So when I put that Walmart on my website, so you want to make sure on your website also, whoever donates, whether it's money, whether it's time, whether it's items, make sure you put their logos and recognize them on all social media and put those things, their logos on your website. Reason being that showing is good for them for publicity and that they're giving back to the community. And it also brings more money to you, especially when they see major companies backing you with whether it's grants or donations, sponsorships or whatever. So the next time I decided to do my Christmas in July, I said, let me just go ahead and do it. I applied for, besides the Walmart grant, I applied for Let's Choose Love, Target, their gift cards. Like I was applying for all the low-hanging fruit because those are the ones that do not take a lot of energy at the moment to apply for. And also with myself having a full-time job for the City Colleges of Chicago as a director of student developments, where now I'm managing. So and I know I'm going off a little bit, some of the teachings that Coach does, you don't have to just do it for your non-for-profit. And I took that, and this position showed up on my LinkedIn as something that I might be interested in doing once I put like grant management and everything on my LinkedIn profile. So right now, the grants that I'm managing are over $4 million for the City Colleges of Chicago, just by me adding that information onto my LinkedIn and taking the practices and the information that Coach gave me in our class. And I'm now applying it to the position that I have now. But going back to the grants, so I was applying for all the low-hanging fruit, as he called it, the $500 gift cards, the $5,000 grants, and everything that did not take a lot of time for me to do. And I end up actually funding my whole Christmas in July event that I had on July 29th. Walmart gave items, myself and one of my board members, Carlos. We were at Walmart 5 o'clock in the morning. I rented U-Haul trucks to go get the items. We got anywhere from toy trucks to give out to blankets to jackets. And on top of that, another location decided to give me another Walmart grant. That grant, so the first one was $1,500. Then I got a $5,000 grant because they looked at my website. And what I did was I put previous pictures that I took from our Christmas event. So we used to donate. We would adopt 3 to 4 families a year during Christmas time. They did have to write a survey, kind of show us their need. We'll go back on their social medias just to see, what was going on or whatever. And then, so we will go to the different houses that we will gift items to, and we would take pictures. So I was putting those pictures on my website. Okay. So when I got the next call about, we want to give you from another location, we want to give you some money. We looked at your website. We see what you're doing. Your board is, you got a couple of different people on your board. You got a veteran on your board. And what I didn't know is that Mr. Walmart, like the whole thing about veterans, he's definitely into backing. So that was good that I had that on my website as well. They wanted me to come out and speak to them about my non-for-profit, what we do, what the money was going towards. And now we have created a partnership with the distribution center out in Elmwood Park, Illinois. For my next event, they're actually going to come out and volunteer. Also, what I learned recently about the volunteering for Walmart is that the hours that the Walmart associates log in, I think it's like $10 per hour that my organization will get for them coming to volunteer at my events. which is a win-win. They volunteer and I get money for them volunteering at my event. They're allowing us, we're doing a Keep Them Warm winter drive. So they're allowing me to put a box. I'm going to wrap it in probably some Christmas paper where they could donate gently used items like coats, gloves, scarves, so that we can give to the homeless. And each week from the Saturday after Thanksgiving till January 1st, we're going to go to different locations in the city of Chicago that we know homeless are and give them these items. And I'm hoping to partner with a guy here, his non-for-profit is Taste of the Homeless, where he actually goes out and cook, even if it's just soup or chili that we can give to them because it gets very cold out here during the winter months. That's what we plan on doing as well. So partnerships, the low-hanging fruit, don't count those out. Don't discount those because those can go very far. My whole Christmas in July event, we serviced over 200 people in the community with the low-hanging fruit and partnerships. Our tables that we had set up was donated from an event space not too far from the community that we were servicing. We got Target gift cards, so we was purchasing things with the Target gift cards. I got the grant from Walmart, and then the items that they actually donated. We had baby strollers out there. I didn't even realize the baby strollers was going to be a hit, but that was one of the first things that left were the baby strollers that Walmart had given us. So, yeah. Do I have any questions?
Hello, this is Dr.
Hello.
Sherman. Sorry, can y'all see me? And can you hear me?
I can hear you, but it just might be
Okay.
my phone where I can't see you.
Okay. So I was able last year to acquire 2 of the Walmart grants. I had somebody go in and do the cyber fund with me. I had last year I had 2 that gave me $500. I applied for like 25 in my local area. And sorry, I was walking and listening, y'all. And so when I tried to reapply, it times out after so long, and you just get this like huge list of denials. When does the new quarter start over? Are you aware? Because I actually got another one. I actually got another one at the top of this year for 500. So it was 3 different locations, and then the rest of them just timed out.
So the new quarter, I believe, started on the 15th, or it might be the 30th this month. That's something new Walmart did. So when I was first applying, they was only doing it, letting you apply once a year. Now they've changed it to once a quarter. So when you see it time out and you get this list of denials, that's when the quarter period has ended, and then you go right back and reapply. What I would say is don't do 2,500. The max is 5,000. You always ask for the max and let them do what they choose to do. But don't do anything like 5,000 is the max. I tell everybody to do $5,000.
Okay.
Don't
So the second time
yourself.
around when I applied, I did do the 5,000. And I had one of the local come back and they gave me 500. What tips do you have about getting out there and seeing the managers? Because like you said earlier, I am the board, the counselor, right? I'm doing everything. So I find it very challenging to get out there and shake hands with the Walmart managers or even the other stores. I had a event called Retail Therapy, and I did have a lot of the local community to sponsor some things for me. Olive Garden sponsored a whole pasta station. So listening at you now, I should make sure I go back to my website and add that those people do we use the term partnerships, or do we just put their logo on there thanking them for their support?
So just depending on how you want to set up your website. What I have on there, I have a tab that says partnerships, sponsorships, and donations. And then I have all of their logos on there.
Okay.
If you have an actual I would say, MOU that Coach was talking about for the partnership with stuff, then you can, that's when I will use the word partnership. But when they're just giving you items and donating items and things of that nature, I just have that one tab that says all of that, and then I have their logos underneath. But you definitely want to make sure the pictures that you do at those events, that you upload them onto your website so that they know that you are actively doing things, and also put their logos on there. That way, that generates more money coming in your direction.
Okay. Okay. And my next question is, so I'll add all of those because I had several community people donate to me things. And then the question on the statement of need. So I listened at Coach's video that he did about how to prepare our website for it. So I've started trying to make sure that I put the program design on there, and the statement of need. Should it be like a link that they go to that they can just download our statement of need, or do you suggest it being right on the website? Because I know a lot of times people don't want to read, if it's very lengthy or something like that. How long do you suggest it to be?
So what I did for my statement of need, I condensed it, and it's condensed within my bio. So my statement of need is pretty much in my bio as the reason why I started the non-for-profit. So it doesn't necessarily say statement of need. It's just, it's within that. So then people know why my statement of need is technically why I started my non-for-profit. So that's the way that I set it up. I do want to say this while we're talking about the websites. 48 and 48. I'm not sure if Coach has spoken on that. They come out 4 times a year where they will build your website. So I started off my website on my own, and then I applied for the 48 and 48 to do my website. And they are great. They are amazing. And I really want to say they're the reason why I got the largest grant that I've ever gotten with Walmart, which is the $5,000 grant, because that is the website that they looked on. So you all look out for that. I think it's 48and48.org. Get on their email list, and then they'll let you all know like when they're doing their next sessions, and you just apply to get your website done for free. Do I have any other questions?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part for me? You said website for free?
Yes. So 48 and 48 is a non-for-profit. Mark just dropped it in the chat box. 48 and 48 is a non-for-profit where they build websites for free for non-for-profit organizations. It's a huge event that they do one weekend. I think the majority of the time they're in Atlanta, but you don't have to go to Atlanta. But that's where like the whole hub is, where they're building out your website for you. They are very good at what they do. And I really do feel like they're one of the reasons why I got my largest grant with Walmart is because of how, once again, they looked at my website and they saw what I was doing, and they were impressed with my website. And that was one of the reasons why they gave me the $5,000.
Hi, Tanya. It's Belinda.
Hi.
Hey, thank you for sharing your stories. Very inspirational and encouraging. So I'm new to grant anything. And so my questions may be a little far off.
No problem.
Back in if I need to. So I'm looking to see if I can do what Coach just recommended with anybody, whether it's you, just to get my feet wet. Can I collaborate with you as a for-profit to come in and do something, and you be the sponsor as a nonprofit, just to help me get my feet wet?
Now, what is your for-profit?
My for-profit is called Fitness and Beyond Enterprises.
Okay.
I'm in nutrition, and I have a team of fitness professionals. And what we do, we help not reverse, but we help improve the quality of life in our Black communities, especially those that have lower cost income, no insurance. It's a food desert. And we like to do what we call Eat Smart and Live Well events. And that's teaching them how to eat well, the exercising part, I've been in fitness for over 25 years, and the people on my team have been in their industry, the medical field, or their exercising area, the fitness area, for over 20 plus years.
Now,
So
let me ask you this. Where are you located?
I'm in Maryland, but I'll travel.
I understand. So that would definitely be a good idea. We could definitely do something. I wouldn't necessarily have you travel because it sounds like what you're doing can also be done via Zoom with my teen moms that are transitioning out of the group homes into their own living facilities, their own living quarters. Because at these group homes, they just, at the end of the day, they eat what they want. There's no real guidance, no real expectations. I will also say in your area, look for that target for non-for-profits. Let's say you Google non-for-profits in my area that deal with food deserts.
Okay.
And so there you might get a list of non-for-profits that, feed, some of them might come up and say feed the homeless. What else might come up? Feed the homeless. I can't, I'm coming up with a blank, but if you Google that, any non-for-profit dealing with hunger or food deserts or nutrition should show up. And then then you contact them, and let them know, hey, I want to know if I can collaborate with you. This is what I do with my for-profit. And that way you can start showing yourself in your community as well.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
You can drop your, no problem. If you could drop your information in the chat, that way that I can contact you outside of here.
Okay. Will do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Dawn Hardwick. This is my first time on the grants. And so I'm excited for the things that you shared because I was told by Dr. Hatchett to open up a nonprofit. I actually have two things. I'm an inspirational business coach. So I actually help people get started in their business, but I encourage them from inside out. So I do with the spiritual as well as their natural being of their business to help them focus. But I also want to try to partnership too, eventually down the road, but I'm trying to just learn the grants, and everything that you gave was so important to me because it gave me an insight of the grants. And I didn't even know that Walmart had these type of grants. So I'm thanking God that you shared that with us. I also have a podcast. So I'm trying to get connected. We do bookkeeping, payroll. We set the clients up from the beginning, the foundation, administrative part. But we're more on the administrative part too, as well, for our new entrepreneurs getting started. So we want them to keep their paperwork straight so they can actually grow their business on the revenue side of the business.
Okay, so and that's what my for-profit is as well.
Okay.
So I'm gonna tell you this. A secret to that is, so you know how what's his name? Maurice is on here.
Okay.
Maurice is on here, and he has. I hope I wrote this down right. Minority Entrepreneurial Network.
Okay.
So he deals with business owners as well, correct? So with his non-for-profit, your for-profit could collaborate with him.
Okay.
Once he gets those entrepreneurs into the network, let's say he ends up with a co-working space, then he can have a mutual agreement with you on the for-profit side and pay you for the services for those startup entrepreneurs that's in his network.
Okay.
So you see how the two mesh?
Yes. Okay.
And you can do the same thing. You can start your own non-for-profit. Let's say if you want to keep it in the same industry, some type of minority entrepreneurial network in a low
ownership. Yeah, ownership. We teach on that for the nonprofit, own and ownership, to understand the basics of owning in your community and also owning your business and how to collaborate them together to do business with one another. So
right
as well too.
So that's how your two can mesh with each other.
So that's for the nonprofit side.
So your non-for-profit would apply for the grants
Okay.
And then once your non-for-profit gets the grants, then you will create an MOU with your for-profit for
MOU? What's that?
yes,
What's that for?
mutual mutual operating mm-mm.
No.
MOU, mutual operating understanding, or MOA, mutual operating agreement.
Okay.
Mark, I'm not sure. Mark, are you getting these? Because they're popping up on my side for this admitting people.
Yep, yep.
Okay, good. Okay. Um, so yeah, so that's how your for-profit and your non-for-profit could work together. So your non-for-profit will actually apply for the grants. Once they're awarded the grants, then you will create that agreement with your for-profit to pay for those services that your for-profit is rendering to your non-for-profit.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're
Right.
welcome.
God bless you. Thank you.
And what was the name of her business and the business that you stated before, the gentleman that has entrepreneurs?
Maurice, if you're still on here, can you say the name of your business again? I'm not sure if he's still on here, but I want to say I put it down right. Minority Entrepreneurial Network. But he said something about they were going to change the name to Bet on Black, which is very catchy. Bet on Black. I like that. Yeah, I don't think he's on here anymore.
Do we have an email as well for him?
I don't have an email for him, but he might be, if he's in the group, in the Facebook group, he might you might be able to get his information through there.
Yeah, our company is called DLB Consulting Group as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then Mark just put the support email for Coach Hackett, and they have they have all of our email addresses.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions or comments, or anybody have a question on maybe how they should, if they don't have a non-for-profit started yet, how they might need to go about it? Or I'm pretty much, as I stated earlier, I was in his very first class. So I have grown with Coach Hackett from 2 years till now. Of course, Mark been with him longer than I have, but on the student side, I have been with him since his first class of teaching it.
I do have a question about the nonprofit. When you start, how is it possible? I know it's possible because I heard him state it before, but if I wanted to have it in 2 states, North and South Carolina, how can I do that when setting it up? I select charitable and educational, and then how do I do that?
So if you're talking about actually registering it in the 2 states, what you're going to do, whichever one is your home state or your domestic state. So I'm not sure which Carolina you're in, but whichever one is your South Carolina. So you'll set it up in South Carolina as your home state or your domestic state. And then you can do a foreign entity in North Carolina. But you definitely want to do it as charitable and educational.
Okay, so when you say foreign entity in North Carolina, so I'm then going to the North Carolina site and selecting foreign entity, correct?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. I see Marissa. I messed up names, y'all, so please forgive me. Marissa.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm Dr. Sherman. I was walking earlier, so now I'm back, and so forgive me. But I'm Dr. Sherman, and I run a nonprofit called Intimate Altar Wellness, and we offer women mental health counseling at no cost. There are no associated fees. They only have to pay a donation. We're donation based. So the Walmart grants that I spoke about earlier that I acquired, what are your tips on saying thank you to your sponsors and partnerships? Maybe just a card in the manager's name. That's the first question. And the second one is the Walmart volunteers. I was approved to be able to come. You know how they sent out that whole thing? You're approved for your registration. I could actually, I was approved to come and stand out front. What are your thoughts on the whole standing out front? Do you think that it's relevant relative to today to do those type of things, or just what your thoughts are on those?
Okay, so the first one is you always want to send a thank you card to the manager and the team. So, to Mr. Manager and the Walmart team. So you always want to send a card. I actually just do my cards on Canva and print them out. I'm not sure if everybody has signed up for Canva. For Canva, it's free for non-for-profits. What is it? The pro account.
The pro, yeah.
Yes. So that's the first thing. And then your second question is, I say it depends on what you're trying to do. So for instance, when I'm doing my Keep Them Warm event, and because I want to do it for 6 weeks, being outside at the different Walmart locations would benefit me. Now, if you're just trying to get donations to run one of your programs, maybe not. Because it's something that, so think about it like this. Let's say you're on the other side. How would you, because it's nothing that they will physically really see. Like they will see us out there giving out things to people. So it's something that people will physically see. But if they're not in your program, or they can't what's the word I'm looking for? Or they can't refer somebody to your program, it might not influence them to give. So it just really depends on what you're trying, what's your main focus of doing the standing outside part.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
It does. It does. Okay. Also, my question is, I know that Coach had mentioned this on our last mastermind. Are you available for website audits to take a look at our websites and kind of see what is missing or what recommendations to put on the existing one that we already may have? And there was something I was going to ask. Oh, on the websites when people put their it's their yearly annual thing. I can't think of the professional name of it right now.
You talking about the candid
It's like, I can't think of the professional name of it right now.
It's the
It's like
candid
all the achievements for the
seal of
year.
transparency.
I'm sorry.
Yes, the seal of transparency. Is that what you're talking about?
No, the seal of transparency that's through GuideStar. I'm talking about when people put on their website. Oh, here, let me see.
I think that's an annual report.
Yeah, it's like an annual report. Okay,
Yep.
let me get back to y'all because I clicked
So
off
you
to try to find.
don't have to do the annual report until you're doing over $50,000. So remember that if you're doing under $50,000, you can just do that 990 postcard, which doesn't have any type of details. You're just letting them know, hey, I'm doing under 50,000, and that's what's it. When you start doing over 50,000, yes, all of that information is public knowledge, because you all I'm assuming have public charitable organizations. I'm sure none of you all did private foundations, because for private foundations are harder to get grant funding for. So you don't have to do that right now. What's best on your website right now, though, is that seal of transparency. That would be the best thing. Okay. I'm going to turn the call over now to Mark so that he can do the part that he needs to do.
All right. Thank you, Miss Tanya. So just to continue on with the website, your question, Dr. Sherman. So yeah, there's an actual checklist for having your website grant ready, or ready to accept grants, donations, and sponsorships. So Coach prepared something for you about this one to properly set up your nonprofit websites. So all you need to do is just apply for the free website on the 48 webs nonprofit. Actually, they are a nonprofit that provides free websites to other nonprofits. All right, and then just get this checklist and then let them build your website out of this. So in that way, whenever a funder goes to your website or check your website, they can easily see all the important things that they need to check, and so you can get your funding. All right. So I'm gonna drop the link to the chat, so you can just click in into this, and you can get the what coach prepared for you all. Okay. All right. I think that's it for today's session.
Excuse me, I have one more question. The
Sure.
Guide Star link, do you have that by chance?
I'm sure. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull it up real quick.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Actually, GuideStar was renamed. I think it's already called Candid. Um, yep, this is the one. Let me just drop it here. Okay. And make sure to apply for GuideStar, register your nonprofits, and then get your seal up to at least silver. All right. It's really easy to set up. And if you have any questions, you can just email us at support@hackett2k.com. I'm gonna drop it again here. All right. Also, someone asked a question where they can get a copy of the recording for our mastermind. We're gonna send you logins. It's actually being uploaded to your online library. But we're just gonna resend your logins just to make sure that you all got it. Okay. So it's gonna be named under the Gantt Mastermind folder. You can see it on your library. All right. Okay, that's it for today's session. We will see you all on next Tuesday. We're gonna use the same link. All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.